5, and what a stretch they've had, winning 10 of their last 11. We're underway here at the Huntsman Center in Salt Lake City. Happen on any night. Here's Evans in the post. Straight away, Lonnie White for 3, and her hot shooting continues. 57% from deep her last 8 games.
You know, their willingness to wait a little bit and really try to get to executing an open shot is going to be pretty darn important tonight for the Utes.
Rebounds in so many games this year, 4 of her last 6. Averaging 11 a game during that time. Kyra Evans swoops through to make it 5-2.
Well, that's a good start for Utah in the post. As I would have guessed, I think Baylor will let Utah play one-on-one in the post. They're not going to overhelp and let Utah play in-out to that three-point shot. And they need to make them play over the top of their defense tonight. Disrupt Utah defensively for Baylor. That's just the name of the game for them.
Van Geitenbeek to a posting up Little Paige Bugs. Works hard in the paint against Walker. Scores it over the top and one.
That should be a lot easier on me tonight.
You can call her Bugs. She's good by that name.
Well, there's such a mismatch there size-wise.
10 straight games. And they've won it by an average of 13 a game during that time. Over 10 a game during Big 12 play. Lonnie White to the rack, ends the scoring drought. Lonnie White with 5 points already. She was held to 5 points in her last game, a season low. She also only had 5 shot attempts. Reese Ross goes to White. White from the Roman numeral, hits it. And it's 11-9. White feeling it with 7. Three-pointer on the way from Bella Fauntleroy. And Bella Fauntleroy, who stands and takes some tough charges on the defensive end, also a solid weapon on the offensive end. Just a 27% three-point shooter, but don't leave her all alone. Well,
and only 17% in conference play. So, you know, the numbers you hope play out when they're good for you. So, just kudos to Gavin and his staff.
What has impressed you most? Van Geitenbeek fires at 3 and hits. And Geitenbeek.
Well, Tony, head coach Gavin Peterson said that ahead of their game against Kansas State, he challenged his team to start every quarter off with high intensity and focus, and was proud that they pulled through with that mentality, and tonight is no different. Every single time they step on that court, they have to be intense with every movement and every possession as well.
Slipped inside from Little Paige Bugs down to Kyla Abraham. And Abraham puts Baylor up 19-11. And for the Bears, they've hit 6 of their last 8 from the field. Evelina Otto going to work in the paint. Knocked away and out of bounds. Bella Fauntleroy. Eugene Dunn just came into the game. Bumps are not fouls tonight, Coach. Grace Foster for 3, and she picks up right where she left off back on Saturday.
One of the reasons they've been successful on the road in Kansas was the play of Grace Foster. And there you saw L.A. Sneed understand, you know, Otto just still has to learn what it's going to take to score against bigger players in this league. She's a freshman, and she has that lesson to still learn.
Dunn hits the jump shot. She was the definition of timely playmaking in their wins last week.
Well, she is, and they run. When she steps on the floor, they run offense to her to get her shots. That's how capable she is. It's a sweet little jump shot that she's got. And if she comes off curls, Utah has got to switch a curl because they have to chase her on any other screen action. Well, Baylor did have a great shooting first half percentage-wise. Utah did not, and we will see if, you know, they had a great first quarter, staying close and still having room to improve. Baylor's shooting, if they can keep that up, makes them as good as they can be with their athleticism if their shooting can match that.
Otto with that putback, cuts it down to 1. There's Dunn from 3, and she hits. Dunn, 42.4% from distance, with both Sneed and Walker at different points of a game. Deep in the paint, great defense by Reese Ross against Kayla Nelms. Baylor's missed their last 6. Ross, a rugged runner right of the lane, no good.
rim attack, and if she could gather at the end and give herself some options, and she might get to the free throw line.
Evans muscles it up and in. Utah cuts it to 2. And on top of that, she's WNBA Coach of the Year at one point. High standards, high success, and she certainly welcomes what this program expects.
Well, exactly, and you have to. I mean, this is a program with 3 national championships, so just putting on the jersey and putting the name on front of it kind of gives them an advantage.
Now they've ended that 6+ minute scoring drought, but if you're Coach Collin, you have to like that your team still stays tough in all those other areas, even if scoring isn't going on.
Well, absolutely. You know, this lineup matchup right now is really interesting to me. You see Utah going as big as they can be against the smaller Baylor lineup, so rather than having that 4-player with Reese Ross, having, at this point, a little bit smaller player. And, you know, you see Baylor just taking it to the rim a lot more, too. I don't think that they're probably... they probably just want to take advantage of their quickness and athleticism, see if they can take advantage by putting the ball on the floor and driving.
Physicality in the paint. You see this block here from Abraham.
You just can't present the ball to shot blockers that are sliding.
Snead goes over the top of it, cut off by Evans. And Geitenbeek throws back out to Scott. Clock down to 2. Scott backing up, White all over. Fires a long one and hits it. She missed her previous 8 shots. Scott, the National Player of the Week at the beginning of the month for reasons like this. Shooting from distance now at 2 of 14. Scott knocks down another one, appropriately in these late quarter and half possessions. Still a 3-pointer from Kirsten Johnson. She hits it. The basket will count. And a foul against Utah.
She's not looking or seeking, but she's also somebody that you cannot give that kind of... It is. The pressure is not on them, but they have just become a better team than I think most people at this point would have predicted. And
Wilkie up the court for the Utes. Right to the rim, Brooke Walker. Welcomed back to the starting lineup. Getting stops. Had a chance on that last possession, didn't convert, but Brooke Walker cashes in on this one. Scott in the first half had 8 points. White in the first half had 9. Fades away, has it knocked out of bounds. Now goes to Johnson straight away. Fauntleroy will try it again. Misfires again. The O-board back up and in by Little Paige Boggs, the 2-time all-conference star. We'll look at that offensive rebound and the putback. 3-point hit is up and good from Talia Scott.
It's just a timeout possession to kind of keep that timeout special from happening from Utah, or if that is something that they're going to stay in.
Bella Fauntleroy, another 3-pointer, her second of the night. She has 8 points, and the biggest lead is now out to 15.
Well, it is hard to look at numbers and have somebody just obliterate her own questionable numbers at the game against Duke. She just, you know, that's how you get it done.
Van Geitenbeek steps aside, now drives the base. Finds Fauntleroy open for 3. This one's too far. Johnson grabs the board, they reset the shot clock. They got a fresh 20 out of this. Van Geitenbeek straight away, it's money. Van Geitenbeek. Talia Scott backs it up, guarded by L.A. Snead. Kirsten Johnson sets the screen. Scott will rise and fire and hit. And they still lead by double digits.
There just hasn't been a consistent scoring spree for the Utes.
Little Paige Boggs puts an end to the drought, and the lead is back to 12. But still plenty of time, and only down by 12. Jelmstad blocked by Fauntleroy.
The good news is they've done a lot of other things to stay close. I mean, it's a 12-point game. It's not a blowout. They have, you know, they've got 7.5 minutes left to go, and if they could put it all together, they could make a run.
Van Geitenbeek and Baylor offensively back to work. Dunn, the jumper's good, and this has been the theme for Team Dung, the timely playmaking. Dunn off the curl, hits another one.
Well, again,
Dung.
there you have it.
Shot clock at 5. Dunn has had the answer late in the clock many times. Stick gives it off, and Kayla Nelms scores it. Nelms had some key fourth quarter buckets in that comeback in Stillwater. Had 8 points in the fourth quarter of that dramatic victory.
Well, that's all set up by the play of Dunn. She's just a sweet one. I could watch her play.
Talia Scott with 13 tonight. Gives it off, little Paige Buggs. And it will remain that way, most likely, as they're in command. Van Geitenbeek goes to little Paige Buggs. An exclamation point here tonight for Baylor, now up 17. Come into the Huntsman Center tonight. What was going to be a tough battle for sure. They had a great defensive start to this game. They carried that on throughout. And Baylor continues to be undefeated in true road games. They win at Utah, and the defense flexed for all 40 minutes.